Pakistan tensions, of course, following extreme provocations from Pakistan. Action has stalled. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called Operation Sindoor a defining moment in India's security policy, marking a new normal in the country's fight against terrorism. In his first address to the nation since the Pahalgam terror attack, Modi said India's response was decisive, strategic and signals a zero-tolerance approach to cross-border terror. Modi stressed that the pause in military action is not a conclusion, but a watchful wait to monitor Pakistan's future conduct. Let's have a listen to some of his statements.
और बुरी तरह पीटने के बाद इसी मजबूरी में 10 मई की दोपहर को पाकिस्तानी सेना ने हमारे डीजीएमओ को संपर्क किया। तब तक हम आतंकवाद के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बड़े पैमाने पर तबाह कर चुके थे। हमने पाकिस्तान के आतंकी और सैन्य ठिकानों पर अपनी जवाबी कार्रवाई को अभी सिर्फ स्थगित किया है। आने वाले दिनों में हम पाकिस्तान के हर कदम को इस कसौटी पर मापेंगे कि वो क्या रवैया अपनाता है।
Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said his administration helped broker a full and immediate ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Trump claimed the deal averted what could have been a nuclear war, adding that trade pressure was key to ending the hostilities. This is what he said.
We helped a lot, and we helped also with trade. I said, come on, we're going to do a lot of trade with you guys. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade. People have never really used trade the way I used it, that I can tell you. And all of a sudden they said, I think we're going to stop.
Meanwhile, diplomatic sources have confirmed that US officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, held separate conversations with India's Prime Minister, Foreign Minister and National Security Advisor in recent days. Sources emphatically stated that trade was not discussed in any of these talks, contradicting claims made publicly by President Donald Trump. The Directors General of Military Operations of both Pakistan and India spoke on May the 12th. They have agreed to avoid any further hostile action and to enforce a strict no-fire policy along the border. Both sides also discussed measures to immediately begin troop reduction in forward areas. Well, joining us to discuss the ongoing ceasefire is retired Captain Anil Gore, a defence expert joining us from Jammu and Kashmir. Captain Anil Gore, thank you for being here with us. Let's first look at the end of that short read that I gave, talking about the DGMO's meeting. What's the positive aspect of that conversation moving forward with this ceasefire that, of course, came into place a couple of days ago?
See, when Pakistan's DGMO called our DGMO and requested for a halt in operations against them, our DGMO made it very clear to him that, look, in case there is any discretion from Pakistan, whether it's the drones or any otherwise, things will carry on. And then after talking with the Prime Minister and the Security Affairs Cabinet, they decided, okay, fine, from 5 p.m. there would be a ceasefire. But then Pakistan, that same very night, sent in drones again in J&K in many places. And that was again warned to, and a very strict warning was given to DGMO over there that, look, this what you are trying to do is something which is there. And he apologized and said that these are some rogue elements within the army, because you know what is the state of affairs of Pakistan, that their army functions independently from even their own commands. And that is what happened. Now today, yesterday when the DGMOs talked, then they had a long talk on it, and they decided that what will be the modalities for this. And what our Prime Minister yesterday evening said very clearly, I think that message is very clear, not only to Pakistan, but to the entire world. India is not that India, what the entire world and the Western nations were thinking about, that India is some third world country. Today, India has demonstrated that its own indigenous air defense system is much, much better than what even Israel has or what even America is trying to make. And that is the one that has protected us from all what was thrown by Pakistan towards India. And that is the one that also allowed us to decimate Pakistan's air defense systems, all the Chinese equipment that they got, and all the Chinese planes that J-10 they were harping upon, and even their missiles and all that they had made, they were harping upon and trying to strut around the world that, look, we are a nuclear power and everything and all, and that is what has demolished all their claims. Now today, the situation stands very clearly. Our Prime Minister has said that Operation Sindoor is not finished. It's not over. It is a continuing operation. We have just had a, what should they say is a stop in the operations for some time, and we are going to observe what Pakistan does. Pakistan has also been given one more instruction, that is that they have to hand over all that terrorists that have taken part in the Pahalgam massacre and stop the terror factories that they have been running around over there. Today, it is very clear to the world that whatever Pakistan has been denying all these years, that Pakistan is hand in glove with the terrorists. We have seen when the Namaz-e-Janaza was taken out for the slain Pakistani terrorists in Bahawalpur, how Abdul Rauf, who is a proscribed terrorist from the United Nations and carries a 50 lakh rupees award, surfaced. Yes. All the time Pakistan has been saying that he was not there at all. And then we also saw, the world has seen how the entire Pakistan top hierarchy of the army and the politicians.
Yes, retired Captain Anil Gore. Sorry to cut you off there. We are running shorter on time today, and there are a couple of other points I want to get to. Specifically first, around Prime Minister Narendra Modi's clear message, which is a clear shift in policy that we've seen from India. An act of terrorism is an act of war. What's the significance of this policy change, and now the fact that Narendra Modi has reiterated that clear shift in policy?
That is to me?
Yes. We're only speaking to you on this topic.
Right till 7th of May, Pakistan has always been using the nuclear blackmail, and we have seen that right since '86 when Pakistan developed the nuclear weapon. They have been always using that, and in that shadow of that, they have been sending the terrorists and sending all the terrorism, spreading terrorism in India, because Operation Topak of General Ziaul Haq, that was formulated by him after Pakistan realized that it cannot win a conventional war in India. That started. And every time there was action like that, this nuclear blackmail was forced upon India. The same thing happened when Kargil was there, when Musharraf sent in the troops over there, and then also when India retaliated, the point that Musharraf came on air and said that we have a nuclear weapon and we will use it if required. And that is again, that nuclear blackmail carried on. But today, that nuclear blackmail is over. Why? Because the nuclear storage facilities, I can say, because we have the information, they have been decimated. All that is there. That is why the Americans came in. That is why the American radiation, the plane to detect the radiation is there since 3 days in Pakistan, going around Rawalpindi, Sargodha and Jacobabad. This was the thing, and this was the Achilles heel that has now been destroyed. Pakistan now does not have any leg to stand on. And that is why our Prime Minister has he said it very emphatically. We will not stand for any nuclear blackmail anymore.
Yes.
Now Pakistan has to realize that in case it wants to progress in the world, I will just digress a little bit. You see, Pakistan and India got independence together. Today, where is India? Number 4 in the world economy. Reaching Mars, landing on Moon, sending a manned space mission, making all these technological advances. And where is Pakistan? So this is the difference between there when you spend all the money that you have into terrorism and into the other things. This
Yes.
is what happens to a country.
Yes,
Now, Pakistan
retired
has to
Captain
think-
Gort, we are short on time. As I mentioned earlier, I do want to bring up the comments from Donald Trump. Of course, he's given this press conference where he's spoken about the US involvement in these ceasefire negotiations. He's mentioned trade. He said that, as we heard earlier in the programme, that trade with both countries would be key moving forward, and that if the war continues, that wouldn't be an option. But this has been denied by Indian officials who say trade wasn't discussed during any US intervention. Why do you think Donald Trump and India's messaging is conflicting?
See, the point is that President Donald Trump jumped into it, rather I would say he jumped the gun. When the DGMO talked with our DGMO at 5 p.m. that day, Donald Trump thought that it is better that I announce the thing because, like, you see, now I will just put it another way. He's been trying to stop the war between Russia and Ukraine. He's been trying to stop the thing that is going on between Israel and in Gaza. And he wanted also to stop, to try to come and mediate between India and Pakistan, which he has been unsuccessful in it. Now, Obama got the Nobel Prize just for this, that he would bring peace. But he did not bring peace. In fact, he is the one who also sent in troops to other places. So Mr. Donald Trump, what I feel is, thought that yes, this is the right opportunity, that I should project myself and project America as such. But let me tell you one thing very clearly. Trade was not discussed with the Indians. Neither was this discussed with the Indians for the ceasefire, because that is the prerogative of our officials, and that we only decided what to do. Now, if Mr. Donald Trump had come and tell me, wasn't the big thing the Indus Water Treaty that is there, that has been kept in abeyance? India has not agreed to it at all. They said that that will remain over there where it is. All those decisions taken on that day will remain, and Indus Water Treaty will remain in abeyance. We are not going to negotiate on that. Trade-wise, our Prime Minister has made it very clear that terror and trade don't go together. Whether America likes it or not, India is a big partner today when America is fighting against China.
Joining us.
All these companies are moving over to India for manufacturing.
Retired Captain Anil Gore, unfortunately we have to move on, we are out of time, but thank you very much for joining us and providing your insight. Of course, trade, Donald